Time for you to go beast mode. King of the jungle, cause you're in a mode. Time for you to go overload. Eat your competition alive, cause you an animal. What's my competition? Only me. Go head to head with my enemies and smash them to smithereens. Calisthenics burning calories. Bring that fire ready to blow up. Now we're the kerosene. You're a fighter, you're a fighter. Never gonna give up, never gonna back down. Get up, get up, get up, get up.
Welcome in to another edition of the Friday Night Blitz. I'm Tyler Cass. He is Nick Luttrell. We've done a few of these things now. It's week 5 of high school football, aka the halfway point of the season. Time flies.
It's crazy it's halfway point. Also, good to have you back. I hope you enjoyed your time in Fayetteville. There's some craziness in Fayetteville over the weekend. Good to have you back on the Friday Night Blitz.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about what happened last weekend. We've talked about it plenty. We're going to talk about it plenty. We've caught our breath. A little bit of high school football feels like just the soothing balm the Arkansas football world needs right now.
It's necessary. It's necessary to talk high school football and talk a lot of it. That's what we're going to do here on the show and talk about our game of the week. Of course, we often have these matchups where it's like, oh, it's been 10 years since this team has beat that team. But tonight's game of the week was one in which Bauxite has never beaten Arkadelphia. Tonight, trying to pull off the upset. Let's head out to the pit, home of the Miners, trying to pull off the big-time upset, but not the start that they wanted. Badgers' first drive of the game, Bryson Meekin to Maddox Finley. Finley refusing to go down, gets him inside the 10-yard line. A couple plays later, Blake Moody punching it in for the Badgers, 7-0 Arkadelphia. A little later, Badgers on the move again. This time they give it to Caden Whitaker. Whitaker on the outside around the edge. He scores 14-0 Arkadelphia with a quick start, and it would get faster. Bauxite needing a response. They don't get it here. When you cough up the football, Brody Cole can't hang on to it. The Badgers pounce, and then 2 plays later, Quintavian Morris, the third running back to score a touchdown in the first quarter for Arkadelphia. He puts them up 21-0. Bauxite trying to stay within striking distance. They do. The freshman Wyatt Foreman finding Austin Hastings for the score. They would come back and tie this game at one point, but Arkadelphia would pull through in the second half. They win our game of the week 42-21.
Look, we've talked about the Sylvan Hills story at length this first half of the season. The Bears didn't win a game for 2 years in a row and then come in with an undefeated start to the season, but tonight, their biggest test yet. On the road at Benton, maybe the front runners in the conference. Time to see how real Sylvan Hills is, and here we go. We'll find an answer pretty soon. The Bears quarterback, Tyler Hampton, rolling to his right, but the receiver falls down. Cordell Payne gets the interception. Here comes Drew Davis, our reigning Whataburger. What a player. He bounces off tackles, switches direction, decides he's going to throw the ball to a wide open Easton Snellings, all alone in the end zone. That play was pretty darn sweet, just putting it out there. All right, 7-0 Benton, but here come Sylvan Hills. EJ Duckery bounces outside, then bounces out of bounds, then Hampton to the corner of the end zone. Laco Brent, man, what a little bit of pitch and catch. 7-6 Sylvan Hills. Here comes Benton. Gunnar Deaton working his way down inside, deep inside Sylvan Hills territory, and then Deaton finishes off the drive with a touchdown to give the Panthers one score lead. Check this out. He gives the ball to a cheerleader. He was flagged for giving the ball, not the cheerleader, to the homecoming queen. That's insane. You don't throw a flag on that. How can? You want insane, though? Sylvan Hills down 1, 2 minutes to go. Isaiah Howell takes the ball, breaks one leg tackle, and he's going to outrun everybody. Isaiah Howell for Sylvan Hills, 70 yards to the house to take down Benton. The magic season for Sylvan Hills just continues. They win 40-35.
Wow, Sylvan Hills, that is amazing. All right, Pine Bluff, Maumelle, the band fired up and ready to go. Hornets wasting no time, setting the tone early on. We saw this connection a lot last week. We're seeing it again in the early parts of this game. Levi Warrior to Jackson Hamilton. He just refuses to get down. He picks up a first down. A little bit later, Warrior again. Guess who? Hamilton again for the score down to the goal line. Yes. No. They call him short. They call him short at the 2-yard line. And then a little misdirection from Maumelle. They would get the touchdown. That's Marshawn Wiley muscling his way into the end zone. And that's pretty much it. Maumelle would lead 7-0 at the end of the first half, and then they would dominate the rest of the way. The final score, 21-7. Maumelle takes down Pine Bluff.
All right, down Highway 10, Joe T. Robinson playing host to Jacksonville, 14-0. Senators early going, but the Titans get a little bit of help here. Interception deep in Robinson territory. The Senators defense, though, responds back-to-back plays of negative yardage. That forces a long field goal attempt for Jacksonville to try to get on the board. It has the distance, but he just pushed it a little wide. No good. Shutout still on, and here come the Senators. Here comes Deuce Williams, the man who does it in every phase of the game, picking up big yardage. Nice little stiff arm at the end there, and still, though, a fourth down, 4th and long. Trot Reese Simpson to his right to Kyron Grimes. He gets down in bounds. At least the referee says he gets down in bounds. We'll have to watch it in slow motion later on, but it keeps the drive going, and good thing it does if you're a Robinson fan, because Simpson finds Jaden Todd. He drags 3 defenders into the end zone for a 21-0 lead. That just gets bigger. 42-7. Joe T. Robinson takes the win.
Yeah, the Senators might be the team to beat in the Class 5A. The team to beat in the Class 7A, probably Bryant, but there's some other teams out there that are to be left to talk about. We'll have highlights up to the Class 7A between PA and Central. What a game that was. We'll have them for you coming up next.
You're watching the Friday Night Blitz on THB 11.
Welcome back in to the Friday Night Blitz. Halfway through the season, we're halfway through the show, and yet the question keeps coming up, the same we've been asking in the 7A for a decade. Can anyone beat Bryant?
I don't think so, Tyler. I don't think anyone can beat Bryant. They've been dominating from the get-go this season and for the past few seasons. And what is it, 7 of the 8 last state championships? 7 of the last 8 state championships. Every time we say unprecedented, they go and win another one. Yeah, it seems like they're on that way to doing that again tonight. We'll see how they did. They're looking like the best team in the state again this season, regardless of classification, hosting Little Rock Christian tonight. First quarter action, Colin Robinson getting in close, just inside the 2-yard line, not quite there. Tried again, same play, you betcha. This time touchdown for the younger brother of the basketball stars, KK and Kellen Robinson. You want to talk about stars? Let's talk about track stars. Terry Hodges takes it 65 yards to the house. The 2A transfer from Mark Tree to Bryant is making a name for himself. The 4-star running back gives the Hornets a 14-0 lead. Give credit to Christian. Hanging around, a little misdirection play here from Kemp Keller to the big boy, DJ Williams. The lineman scoring a big-time touchdown. That cut the deficit down. But you know, Bryant does what Bryant does. They dominated, especially in the second half. This one belonged to the Hornets. Final score, 49-21.
You're watching the Friday Night Blitz on THB 11. Go Tigers!
There you go. Homecoming at Little Rock Central. Head coach Anthony Robinson against head coach Anthony Lucas, a pair of Anthonys. They also both played Division I football at wide receiver. Lucas at Arkansas, Robinson at A-State. We get Arkansas A-State again. Why not? All right. PA led 24-0 at one point, but Central, look at Jerry and Graydon right there before halftime. Tigers down just a score, a minute to play. They could have a chance to tie this one before half. Quarterback Bryson Kennedy finds the crosser. Trey Stewart, he picks up a nice gain. Almost a nice little hurdle there, eventually taken down. 10 seconds before half. Kennedy looking to tie this game up, but no, ball floats out of his hands to Hartford Low for the pick. PA goes into halftime with a 1-score lead. Central, though, driving deep in PA territory. Still just a 1-score game. 4th and 2. He only gets 1. The Bruins say, hey, you're trying to go for it on 4th down. That's our thing. Next PA drive. Aaron Orgel steps into one and finds Javion Walker in the end zone. Back to a 2-score game. And PA 63-42. The Bruins, after 3 straight losses to start the season, they got 2 straight wins to start conference play.
All right, keep the 7A train rolling. Conway on the road taking on North Little Rock. Early action. Tay Lockett picking off Robert Jackson. Pick 6 Cats. That's the Wampus Cats. They lead 7-0 in the early going. Later on the second quarter, Conway's Ryder Cook Deep ball, Cameron Blackman finds it, and yeah, he's gone. That extends the Wampus Cats lead to 14. All right, second quarter. Continuing, charging Wildcats this time. Not picked. How about a touchdown? Davion Withers, who takes it in. That cuts it down to a touchdown lead for Conway. But what a play here for the Wampus Cats. They get the ball inside the goal line. Ryder Cook, Trey Harris, they pushes it through. 21-7 Conway. They would later take a 28-7 lead in this one. And they would go on to hang on to a win, 31-7, the final score from North Little Rock.
All right, some 6A action in the River Valley. Lake Hamilton has to make the trip to Fort Smith, take on Southside, and right away running into trouble. That's a Maverick touchdown right there. The lights go that sweet baby blue, and there's the bells of Southside, one of the more unique cheerleading and dance crews that we get here in the state of Arkansas. They got the Stars and Stripes and also Stars. And Lake Hamilton, you see the team walking off there. Final score 49-44. Southside hangs on in a nail biter.
All right, a friendly reminder that if you're wanting to keep up to date with the latest scores, you can text SCORES to 501-376-1111. Once again, text that exact word. You'll be directed to our website where you can see all of the high school football scores from around the state. Make sure to text that number and see the scores that you want to see. Maybe your team, maybe we didn't mention your team for our highlights. Well, we only had 6 or 7 highlights in there. You text that number, we'll get them to you.
And also, if you missed...
You're watching